Hello, this is John Hilliard. I'm your 2019 to 2021 Family Vice President. And I just want to say a few words to all of my young cousins who have finished their graduation requirements. I believe I'm speaking for the entire family when I say that we are extremely proud of you for graduating. This goes out to both the graduating classes of 2021 and 2020. I'm sure that you've heard it over and over, and undoubtedly you'll hear it again, that graduation is not just the ending of one of life's journeys, but the beginning of another. This is very true. And I'm sure you're very excited about getting started on this new journey. You may go on to pursue higher education, or you may go directly into the workforce. Some of you may choose a life of public service, while others will chase entrepreneurial dreams. Some may even develop their God-given talent to pursue an athletic or an entertainment career, while others of you still may not know where your greatest passions reside. But whatever it is that you decide, understand that now, unlike the K through 12 years, you, yes you, are now in the driver's seat. What you do from here forward is ultimately your decision. I want to share with you a story from the Bible. It takes place in the 14th chapter of Matthew, starting at verse 22. And it goes something like this. Then Jesus made the followers get into the boat. He told them to go to the other side of the lake and said he would come and join them later. He stayed and told everyone who had gathered that they could go home. And after Jesus said goodbye, he went on up to the hills by himself to pray. Now it was late, and he was there all alone. Now by this time, the boat was already long from the shore. Since the wind was blowing against it, the boat was having some trouble, because of the wind and the waves. And the Bible says, I think it was about maybe 3 and 6 o'clock in the morning when Jesus' followers were still in the boat and Jesus came to them. And he was walking on the water. Now his disciples saw him and it scared them. They said things like, it's a ghost. And they were screaming in fear. But Jesus quickly spoke to them and said, hey, don't worry, it's me. Don't be afraid. Well, Peter then said, Lord, if that's really you, tell me to come to you on the water. Well, Jesus said, come on, Peter. And Peter left the boat and began walking on the water towards Jesus. But while Peter was walking on the water, he saw the wind and the waves, and he began to be afraid and also started sinking into the water. And he shouted, Lord, Lord, save me. And then Jesus caught Peter with his hand and said, your faith is small. Why did you doubt? I reference this story because I want to stress the importance of focusing on your goals. When the disciples saw Jesus, they didn't recognize him. Well, because he was so far away, and even if they did recognize him, they were in disbelief. I mean, Jesus was doing what appeared to be the impossible. But of all the disciples, only Peter was brave enough to go out of his comfort zone and walk on the water towards Jesus. I can imagine what the others in the boat, with him must have said. You're crazy. Nah, you could never do it. It's too hard. Nah, don't even think about it. That's impossible for you. You don't have what it takes. Stay here. Yeah, things are kind of rough and turbulent here in the boat, but at least we're safe in the status quo. Of all these naysayers who at the same time were Peter's closest friends, mind you, they were discouraging him from reaching his goal, which was Jesus. Fortunately, Peter did not listen to the negativity. He stepped out on faith and walked on the water for what must have been a considerable amount of time, because the text says that the boat was far away from the shore. Not only that, but when Peter finally found himself in trouble, Jesus was able to reach down and save him. Jesus was not near the boat, so Peter must have gone quite a distance. Imagine Peter first stepping out of the boat. He was focused on Jesus. As he took that first step, he remained focused on Jesus. 2 steps, 3 steps, 4 steps, and so on. As long as he remained focused on where he was going, he was able to do the impossible. The wind and the waves had been blowing all night long. The scriptures say that the boat was having trouble because of that. They were already blowing against it, so despite the turbulent conditions, for a considerable amount of time and distance, Peter was still able to walk on the water because he remained focused on his goal. It was finally at that last minute when Peter got distracted. As soon as he took his eyes off of Jesus, he began to sink. Despite the distance he had traveled, and despite how close he was to succeeding, Peter began to doubt his ability to walk on water. Jesus reached out to save him and asked him, "Why did you doubt?" There's a book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's by Stephen Covey. In this book, he talks about common traits that people share that you must learn if you want to be successful and effective. I want to share with you the first 3 of those habits, which appropriately enough focus on moving from dependence to independence. Number 1, be proactive. Necessity has always been the mother of invention. From the moment you receive your diploma, you will be faced with a problem. And that problem is, what do you need to do next? Don't wait for the world to owe you a living. In fact, don't wait for the world to owe you anything. If there's something that you want or need, it's best if you earn it. Don't wait for it to be given to you, and trust me, if something is given to you, chances are that you will appreciate it less than if you would put forth the effort and achieved it yourself. Number 2, begin with an end goal in mind. Set your goals and stay focused on them. You are the captain of your ship. You are your own programmer. Write your mission statement. Who do you want to be? Where do you want to go? What do you want to achieve? Remember that if you don't stay focused on your goals, you may spend the rest of your life helping someone else to achieve theirs. Number 3, put first things first. Prioritize. Once you've identified what you need to do and pictured yourself reaching your goals, it is extremely important that you learn to keep your priorities straight. You know, my father, Lionel Hilliard Sr., always told me that we're all given 24 hours in a day. The difference between successful people and unsuccessful people all boils down to how we choose to spend those 24 hours. Will you rise and shine and get to work, or will you sleep in? Will you party all night long, or will you burn the midnight oil focusing on your goals? Recognize that there is a difference between what is important and what is urgent. When you set your priorities, they should always be set in the following order. Number 1, important and urgent. Number 2, important and not urgent. Number 3, unimportant and urgent. And finally, number 4, unimportant and not urgent. If you're able to keep your priorities straight, you will most likely stay focused on your goals, walk on water, and do what others may have perceived to be the impossible. One more thing in closing, thinking back to when Peter was walking on the water. You know, the Bible makes no mention of any of the other disciples stepping out. The takeaway from that is that on the path to achieving your goals, you may often find yourself advancing by yourself. Never expect anyone to see your dreams as clearly as you do. I imagine that as Peter was walking on the water, the other disciples were still calling for him from the boat. They saw Jesus and Peter both walking on water. So they shouldn't have needed any more proof that they could do it too. Yet they stayed behind. I would also not be surprised if one or more of Peter's so-called friends was waiting for him to sink just so they could holler out, "I told you so." Ever come across any friends like that? Some might be closer than you think, right? So again, congratulations on what you have achieved. Keep these words in mind, and as you move forward in whatever it is that you desire, know what it is that you need to do. Focus on achieving your goals, set your priorities in the right order, stay faithful, and by all means, do not doubt yourself. You can do it. And should you get distracted and begin to sink, don't be discouraged. Even Michael Jordan, one of the best basketball players ever, admits that he failed more times than he succeeded. Get up,
what city in United States?
Refocus, and keep going. And if you can make that decision that no matter what, you will never give up,
Oregon?
then you've already succeeded where others may have failed and sank. Congratulations on a new beginning. God bless you. May He continue to bless you in all of your endeavors, and may God continue to bless the Hilliard and Cunningham family. Thank you.